Question of the day. Somebody you know cheated on their boyfriend while at a conference, which occurred right after a huge fight where they both said they wanted to break up. However, now that they're back together, the question becomes, should the boyfriend be told? So, first of all, you got to decide whether it's cheating or not. You know, they shouted at you, we're finished, you know. He immediately, or she immediately goes next door, sleeps with someone. You know about it. They're now back together. You know, I love you, I didn't mean it, da-da-da-da-da. Should you tell the boyfriend?
Well, my blanket policy on anything to do with infidelity around someone else's relationship is I am never taking responsibility for another person's relationship. I'm never being the reason somebody else breaks up or the reason somebody else stays together, because I'm not going to be there to comfort you when you're heartbroken. I'm going to be doing my thing. So I'm not going to tell you nothing.
Okay,
so that's
cool,
my blanket policy.
Cool.
Having said that, here's something that people might think is inflammatory or people might think is something wrong to say. I truly believe there are different rules for when the man cheats and when the woman cheats. I believe there's different rules. I believe it's worse one way than it is the other way, right?
That's because it is.
Because it is. Look, the man's the head of the household. Sunday is the head of the household. But yeah, the man's the head of the household, right? And it's like, this is what I was saying to a friend at work the other day. I said, like, sex is very plentiful for women and scarcity creates value, right? So, as a man, you have to work hard. You have to have something about you to get it. You can't just find it lying around on the floor.
Yeah. Women are quite polygamous.
Exactly, 100%. And it's...
But this is the way I see it. You're doing him a favour. So wait, you're not telling your brethren...
Sorry? I'm not taking responsibility for anybody's relationship, no.
Wait.
If it was you, maybe.
Wait. You're not telling your brethren that his woman was getting clapped out.
Well, listen, look, I'm not taking responsibility for nothing. I'm not taking responsibility for nothing.
You are plunging, you're by your hand, you are plunging that man into a lifelong heartbreak.
If he doesn't know, then...
It's not going to hurt him.
Such is life. If it was you, I'd tell you, because like, you're as close to me as a person could potentially be, without being me, essentially. So I'll tell you, but it's like, if it was like somebody I knew at work or whatever, I'd just be like, listen, I don't know anything. I've got my own issues.
I think you can't trust a woman that as soon as you have an argument, she's going...
Oh, definitely not. That's true. She will reveal that in her own time. And if you don't pick up on them red flags, that's you. That's on you. But what you was about to say, carry on.
Yeah, no, I would... If it was a man, because the woman cheated on her, yeah, I would tell him. But if it was the other way around, I wouldn't tell her.
Yeah, see, that's mad. That's the dilemma I actually grappled with, because I was thinking to myself, would I tell the man? But then I was thinking, if I saw a man cheating, I would say shit. I would say shit. I would say shit. I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't say anything.
Keep it.
So
G.
that's at least at the end of the day, I'm keeping it level. I'm not saying anything to anybody.
All right. You always
find something.
What about if your girl found out that you snitch? Could she then break up with you because of it? Because the way she could see it is that you're as untrustworthy as him.
What do you mean? So if I snitched...
No. So let's say your girl found out that you didn't snitch. Yeah. Could she then feel some type of way enough to end the relationship with you?
Because I would make a strong legal argument and I'd get myself out of that.
You think logic works with women?
Nah, trust me. That's true, to be fair. That's true. How they feel?
Would she be justified? Let's say it wasn't even you. Let's say it was someone else. And your friend said, my girl left me because I didn't snitch on another guy cheating. Is that justified?
No, because why are you more loyal to that random girl than you are to me?
No, but the girl says, if you can sit on the truth...
I'll be like, nah, kill all that noise. Kill all that. Why are you more loyal to that random girl than you are to me?
It's not about the girl, it's the principle. It's the principle. How can I trust you?
I don't care, principal, headmaster, head teacher, whatever.
You are not an agent of truth. How can I trust you?
Listen, nobody's an agent of truth. Nobody.
So you agree?
Nobody is an agent of truth. No one.
Well, I am.
If you're... Listen, let her say that. She's cooked herself. Now I've got her. I said, so.
You're lying. Now you're lying.
All these times that you lied, I can bring them up.
All right, that went over time. We were supposed to speak. You know what we need to do? We need timer. We need a 3-minute timer. When it done,
then the indoctrination button.
Yeah, because we always get...
we picked two interesting ones. That's our problem. We actually get too involved in it.
First world problems, eh?
Literally.
So, 1984. Oh, yeah, no. Pause this video right now. Go and read 1984. by
George Orwell. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. I'm Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library.
So, yes, this is the Audible Adaptation version. So it's a shorter, more immersive experience.
Yeah. In fact, I even wanted to say at the beginning of the video, it's kind of clickbait, because the title's going to say 1984. Or the classic the classic read fans. Yay, 1984! This is the Audible adaptation of 1984.
Viewers.
Like, literally, narrated by Spider-Man for us. So, it's, it's not the same. Yeah, that's a good point, to be fair.
I think most of the people who've read this probably read it. Sorry. Most of the people who've read this book are probably dead.
Well, that's not why I thought you were going.
I was going to say that. Because the book came out ages ago.
49, but it's like War of the Worlds came out years and years and years ago, and it's like, it's classic literature. Classic literature lives forever.
I'm not saying that.
Read Dostoevsky. You've read Dostoevsky.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying when a book comes out that's popular, let's say for argument's sake it was popular, most of the people who read it are going to read it then. They're dead now. That doesn't mean thousands of people haven't read it here. But
I don't know if that's true, because would you say most of the people that have seen the Mona Lisa are dead? Or most of the people who are like are aficionados are dead? Because like some of these men weren't famous till hundreds of years after.
Yeah, but yeah.
I know it's not exactly the same thing, because literature is literature.
We're getting off topic anyway.
We're getting off topic.
It was an interesting. It's an interesting topic.
It was a good counterpoint.
Maybe one day we'll have patients that want to sit down and listen to us chatting rubbish.
100%.
But right now we can afford back to the book. Quickly, what is all this comrade talk about?
So interesting you should say that. I've got a point about
What was that all about?
Is
it just supposed to convey some form of totalitarian state?
Thank you.
Is that all it was?
That's pretty much what I thought it was. That's pretty much what I thought it was for.
And is that indoctrination?
Listen,
Is that indoctrination?
Thank you. Oh, did you read my notes? He read my notes. I knew it.
It's like it's just sticking Russia into. I don't know if they even do they just say it stereotypically, or do they actually say
they knew what they was doing.
Oh yeah, but because this is so old, I just want to make sure this is alright. No, it doesn't. It looks fine. But yeah, is it? But do you know what? Because it's written so long ago, that's probably why. Years ago, you have it. Remember, this is around 1949. Hitler,
Soviet Union. Soviet Union.
Yeah, all of that stuff was fresh.
100%.
So you're gonna paint the enemy in a way, because they don't say comrade every statement.
Well, look, I can't imagine they do. It's how we view them. How do we view them in the West? It's our bastardized view of the East from the West. And it's like we're gonna view them in a certain way. They view us in a certain way. Where we probably aren't exactly as they think we are. But it's all ignorance. But like we said, it's not necessarily just ignorance. It is also indoctrination, because we also need to teach the young, people who are reading how to view.
I think this was more ignorant than indoctrination.
Probably because 60-40.
Yeah, because obviously, I mean, look, when you write a book, you obviously do some research, but there's only so much research you can do when you are cut off from a civilization, and everything you know about them is from TV, which is indoctrination and propaganda anyway. So now we can you could literally go and FaceTime someone in Russia right now if you wanted
of course, 100%.
And learn some stuff about them.
Definitely.
About what it's like to be on the ground in Russia. But back then you're coming fresh off the World War.
Yeah, no, 100%. Everything you know about Russia is negative.
But then again, actually Russia was allies, to be fair.
Oh yeah, there was. What am I thinking about?
But I think I got mixed up with the Cold War, because that was against
Cold War's like 80s though.
Yeah,
but to be fair, the comrade stuff would have been leading up to that, so it would have been like 70s, 60s, 50s.
Yeah,
which is right.
I don't know. Maybe we're just waffling.
Maybe we're waffling. Look, maybe there's some historians in the chat who can put us straight and correct us about what we're talking about. But yeah. So in chapter 1, our main character Winston Smith, voiced by Andrew Garfield, has arrived at a public execution. A pair of 20-year-olds, a couple, are to be executed in public. A man says, "Right, kids, who wants to see a hanging?" And all the kids go, "Yay!" Right from the off, it's clear that this isn't really an audiobook. This is one of those immersive audio experiences. Most audiobooks are one-man bands. With this, you can hear the ominous music in the background. You can hear the crowd chanting, "Hang, hang, hang!" All the Audible originals are like this. It's almost like Audible is flexing on authors. It's like they're like, "See a little audiobook? Hold this. One listener."
Do you know what? This is the beauty of these things, right? Because I had a discussion with somebody And they said, I wouldn't listen to audiobooks. If I'm going to do that, I'm just going to watch the film, right? If there's a film. And I said, you stupid man, right?
silly man.
Yeah, a film is 1 hour, an hour and a half, when the book is 10 hours. So if you want the full story, you got to go with the story. And an audiobook, especially with the adaptation, is the full shebang.
Yeah.
But this is as close as audiobooks can get to rivaling the actual
the
physical
drama,
the physical book, because you get these avid readers that say nothing can beat the book, and they're right in only one aspect, because reading actually stimulates your own imagination. The characters sound
how you want them to sound in your head.
Not even how you want them, how you imagine them to sound.
Yeah.
You don't even have control over it. You imagine them to sound
like how they sound.
So
with audiobooks, it's like you're told a lot. You're told a lot.
Exactly.
Whereas
and that's okay. You might like that, and I do. But there is still a place for physical books that isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, no, 100%. Come on, definitely not. Definitely.
But yeah, so that's a little audiobook versus physical book.
Yeah, I will always be team physical book.
You can't actually say that.
I will always be team.
You can't actually say that as an actual fact, though.
What are you going to do, though?
No, but do you agree with my statement?
What do you mean?
Do you agree with my statement?
What, I would never, forever change?
No, you can't know that.
Well, I know it as much as I can know anything.
You can't actually know that either.
Well, look, the philosopher Descartes said, the only thing I know is that I know nothing. It might not actually have been Descartes, it might be somebody else.
Might have been Joseph. Yeah. So, the initial scene of a man asking the children, who wants to see a hanging? With all the children responding, yay! This was a very realistic reaction to children who have been subjected to hangings since birth. For some reason, we pretend that children are these mentally delicate people. In actual fact, they are a product of their surroundings. If we bring them up in a way that coddles them, then they will be soft. And similarly, they can be cold-hearted or brutal under the right or wrong circumstances. So that was interesting, because children aren't, these things, these different things, as I said, they're heartless.
Oh yeah,
they can be heartless.
They don't know enough to treasure human life the way adults may, or the way adults might.
Yeah,
to be fair.
And then you also tell them a little story like they're going to heaven, they're going to hell.
That as well, and it's like
that
children
a bit blasphemous.
Children want to see beheadings. Children want to see that seems cool to children. They want to see guts. They want to see beheadings. They think it's cool. They don't really understand the finality of death as much as adults.
So does that mean the vomiting when you see a dead body is that a learned?
What, vomiting when you see a dead body is that learned?
Is that a learned behaviour?
I think that's the children want to see beheadings. They don't necessarily like it when they see it, is what I'm saying. So it might not actually be learned behaviour. It might be your body being shocked because it's like, oh my god, I'm a sack of meat, and like, if you poke me in enough holes, like, I will just die and fall apart. So that could be the shock, what makes people throw up like that.
But I don't understand why we have that. I mean, coming from an evolutionary standpoint.
It really doesn't, not anything I can understand, but I could never hope to understand evolution enough to be able to provide you an answer on that one, to be fair. Like, far.
I'm asking the wrong person as well.
You're asking the wrong person, to be fair. But you're right, it doesn't really make any sense why we would have something that makes us weaker. Why would we have a response that makes us weaker? It makes no sense.
In an emergency situation,
do you see what I'm saying? The only thing that gets people killed in some of these situations is that, in fact. If they could move, Salman Rushdie, like, you'd be good.
Yeah.
The danger of books. Winston Smith works for the Ministry of Truth, one of the 4 branches of government underneath Big Brother, the dictatorial entity who is always watching you. As part of Big Brother's regime, certain books are illegal. As we know, when the Nazis took power in Germany, they burnt books that the Third Reich considered un-German. In the movie V for Vendetta, Stephen Fry's house got raided because he owned a Quran. Salman Rushdie was marked for death because of a book that he wrote. Books are extremely powerful and dangerous things. If we're not careful, they're going to get us too. Like we keep saying, you guys can't see this, but the windows behind this camera are massive. If there is somebody that wants to get us, oh my god, listen.
Let them try. Go fast.
It is insane how dangerous, how powerful books actually are, though. And it's the information, all the information we have comes from books. Like, even if it comes from online, is books. Yeah, all of it.
Archive or somewhere.
Literally, archives from somewhere. Recorded.
And even if it's on the internet, it's still words. It's still...
Do you see what I'm saying?
Literature.
It's the same premise.
Yeah.
Books are just incredibly dangerous.
Books are bulletproof.
This is an arsenal, really.
I don't know which ministry or section of the government it was, but they were talking about scrubbing words out of the English language to control and restrict the thinking of the population.
Interesting.
So she said, if we keep the word... This is an example of what she said. She said, if we keep the word good, then we don't need the word bad. Bad things can be ungood. Well, sorry, things that aren't good can be ungood. This is nothing short of profound. The author has clearly done his research. We humans conceptualize feelings with the language and the words that we use. Without certain words, we are literally incapable of experiencing certain emotions. For example, have you ever felt mavuki, which is Bantu, which is an African dialect, which translates to the irresistible urge to shuck off your clothes as you dance?
What's it called? What?
Mavuki. It translates to the irresistible urge to shuck off your clothes as you dance.
Shuck off, I assume, means jettison, shed off.
I assume so. But we are incapable of experiencing this feeling because we don't have a word for it in the English language. Which is fantastic.
Flawed.
Sorry, which is fascinating when you think about it. What else are we missing out on? I mean, don't you just want to shuck off your clothes, Jacob? How about Utiwayan, which encapsulates the revitalizing effects of just taking a walk in the wind?
We don't have a word for that in English.
Yeah, so that's a Danish word, but it's just gonna tie into the book that we're gonna read. I don't think we're gonna do it next week. I mean, I want to. Maybe we will do it next week. How humans conceptualize emotions. It's how we make emotions. We'll do that next week because it's just a fascinating book. It's just a fantastic book. We have no idea how we experience emotions, which is very, very interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy how much of our lives we spend basically blundering around, just winging it, essentially.
Yeah.
And things like that. And it's reading books like, obviously, Ultra Processed Food, Anxious Generation, books like that have just really opened my eyes to a lot of how, and most of those books I didn't understand, bearing in mind, and they still ended up opening my eyes, which really goes to show how crazy it actually is. We have now reached the point of the video where my brain notices something that is barely worth noticing. At the Ministry of Truth, Winston works beside a woman called Ling, who notes down all the people who have been vaporized so they can be removed from the news as if they never existed. In the background, we hear her say, E.A. Blair has been vaporized. E.A. Blair never existed. I'm not entirely sure anybody knows or cares, but George Orwell is a pseudonym. The author's actual name, his government name, is Eric Arthur Blair. So his name is literally E.A.
So why has he got a pseudonym?
I don't know. Loads of people do it. So, for example, the pseudonym George Orwell is like, there was a River Orwell that he used to visit when he was like a little kid, and St. George is the patron saint of England, and he's like a big, patron. And there's like all these kinds of reasons why he picked George Orwell. I think those are the two main ones, to be fair. Most authors who pick pseudonyms are established authors that don't want their actual name, their famous name. So, for example, J.K. Rowling wrote Legal White, and she used the pseudonym Robert Galbraith, for example, which you probably have seen in W. Smith all the time, but never knew she wrote it. You've probably seen it, or your eyes have glazed over it. Legal White, that's what it's called. I've never read it, but most pseudonyms, or a lot of pseudonyms, are used by
Stephen
established
King doesn't
authors
have
already.
one, does he?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
But
you ever heard of Mark Twain?
A good one. That's the one.
You ever heard of Mark Twain? No. Yeah, Mark Twain. He was Samuel Clemens, for example. Mark Twain was not his real name. But it's crazy. EA Blair, EA Sports, sick game.
Yeah, that's quite good that you noticed that. I wouldn't have. There was a scene where the government announced a 20% ration increase for chocolate, where everybody starts cheering. The main character is gobsmacked. He thinks to himself, doesn't everybody remember that they reduced the chocolate ration count by 30% the day before? So it's increased to 20% now isn't really a victory, it's just 10% more. Well, it's 10% less than what they got. Because the government controlled the media. Because the government controlled the media, and writing and thinking is forbidden, punishable by death, it's very hard to remember things without written records. Think about it. Joseph, what did you have for dinner yesterday?
That is a...
What did you have for dinner yesterday? You must remember, surely.
What did I have for dinner? I had chicken tenders.
Okay, yeah, chicken fries. And the day before?
I think I had chicken
and the day
wings.
before?
I think I
and
had
the day
wings.
before? And the day before?
Jacket potato.
And the day before? But the point is, You know, what if I told you that you had this device here that could make your dinner taste 50% better than it did on Tuesday last week, for example? Whilst that sounds good...
It means nothing to me because I don't even know what I had.
Whilst it sounds good, and who wouldn't be interested in that, it's extremely hard to measure that improvement because our memories as humans is quite shit, to be honest. Especially when it comes to repetitive things. So books like this highlight the power of words, information, and history. So yeah, you know, the way we experience life, it's, you know, it's kind of what they said in the vegan book. You know, it's, you know, animal lives for however long, and we kill it and enjoy it for 15 minutes, and then we forget about it immediately. But remembering, you know, it's a powerful thing, especially when it comes to controlling people. It's just what they kind of highlighted in this book.
Well, to be fair, I heard a great quote one time, which I'm pretty sure I've said in one of our videos. It said, forgetting is a human superpower, because if we could remember how things felt, we would stop having wars and stop having babies. So it works for us and it works against us in different ways. Like with the animal thing, we have to give meaning to eating animals, we have to keep doing it. Do you know what I mean? We have to keep eating chicken, keep eating cows for it to make any sense. To keep having the taste, and we will. I'll have steak after this. But no, it genuinely is true though. Our ability to remember is pathetic. But at the same time, people can remember things they saw on TV shows years ago. They can remember lines of dialogue, things that inflame them. Do you know what I mean? So we just don't know how to access it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really don't know how to access it. At the Ministry of Truth, there is a division of enforcers called the Thought Police, which is a scary name if you think about it, the Thought Police. General police is actually quite scary. Thought police, individuals who can actually hear your thoughts and assess whether you are thinking anything illegal. This is the essence of totalitarianism. Total control, maximum supervision. And let me just say, I would not last 2 seconds with these thought police around, girls rolling around Brixton High Street or whatever. You'd have to be doing the show by yourself next week. Pretend I didn't exist. People are like, where's Josie? Like, who? We don't know. We don't talk about him. But it is genuinely crazy that it's got to the level that they have. Within 20 or so years, from 49 to 84, they've got thought police that can hear your thoughts. Oh, you! What did you just think? That is insane.
It's a problem.
There cannot be any crime. There cannot be any in society. It makes sense why society is so shut down. Everyone does what they're told to do because it's like, you can't. That's a huge problem. Huge problem. There's no innovation. How's society moving forward if people aren't allowed to think?
Yeah. Fucking psycho. The shopkeeper just lies on the spot and bursts into tears about his dead wife's cat? Or his dead wife? His dead wife.
I think it was his dead wife.
Yeah, I don't know why I've got K. You can't trust people like that. Do you remember? So basically the main character, Winston, went into a shop to go and buy...
To get that book. Was it the
shoelaces? Or no, it was actually a book. It was actually a book. Yeah. And then he gets brought upstairs into a room, like an olden style room, which doesn't have a TV in there or anything like that. And then that woman from work, comes in looking for him. And the shopkeeper just starts crying and saying, oh, he's not here. You don't remember that scene, but yeah.
I vaguely remember her going to the shop looking for him. I remember.
She was following him.
Yeah, she was following him.
Yeah, she was following him. That was one of... Yeah. But yeah, plot twist, the woman that's been following him isn't an enemy or dangerous. She's a whore.
Yeah. Which is far more disappointing, to be honest. I'd rather she's a terrorist of some kind.
Because, you know,
agent of chaos.
When I feel like, I don't know if... I would like to read that book to see how things transgress, because it seemed like she dropped a note into his hand. After that, straight to sex.
Immediately.
Straight to sex. That's what it seems like. Outside. It felt like, I think it's outside in the wilderness. Straight to sex.
This is what I was saying. Remember when I said, like, sex is around for me? They can find it on the floor. Do you know what I mean? They can find it. Men are very, very easy. Women are not, like, men have to put in...
Speak for yourself.
Do you see what... Hey, listen. I will. I am. But, no, it's genuinely insane how far... It was in a matter of pages.
He hated the girl, apparently.
No, he clearly didn't.
Remember, I hated the girl. I wanted to kill her or whatnot. And then, you know, all of a sudden, she writes a note saying, I love you.
And then she's in his lap. Next scene, you know, I said, what? Ridiculous. And
that relationship transgressed very quickly.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, And then... Western productions always indoctrinate us. There is a reason all the evil Imperial officers in Star Wars are British and all the heroic rebel pilots are Americans. There is a reason Darth Vader is Dark Father in German. In 1984, members of the Ministry of Truth called each other comrade, a nod to the title most commonly associated with communism and the Soviet Union. So yeah, they literally just put things that we think they do in Russia to let you know that this is what you're not supposed to be doing. Like, if you go to Russia and think, ugh, good, because we're not supposed to be doing... America's free. Britain is free, do you know? And it's like... It's very, very sloppy indoctrination. It's very, very obvious. It's not really... Indoctrination is really supposed to be subtle. I mean, not I'm an expert, but it's supposed to be subtle, subliminal, subconscious. They really just picked on this obvious, quintessentially Russian word that you could think of in the media or in TV or whatever.
Is what, 70 years?
Yeah, that's very true.
Well, no.
We were being harsh. It's 49 is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago. But
yeah, it's about 70,
100%.
75 years old.
Long time ago. But it was very, for me, I literally turned up my nose at that. I did turn up my nose, but I was literally like, they didn't, come on. In England, this is a comrade.
It made it feel more totalitarian.
It did make it feel like...
So it done the job.
That. I suppose
and it
so.
is an old book, so yeah. But I said this book is starting to seem a bit lustful.
Yeah, it went off the rails. It went off the rails.
Second quote of the day. Well, not really. This quote was in the book, and I was impressed. This quote has practical applications. Stop thinking about dying and find something to live for. You know, which is...
Was Julia said
practical.
That? Did Julia say that?
Julia. Yeah. I think he was going on.
Yeah, he was a bit of a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. He was a bit of a bitch, to be fair.
Well, he was brave enough to start a journal.
That's true.
And whatnot. How many you got left? I've got a few. I was wondering.
I have got...
Because you don't announce it, you just get the last one and then
I've got 4 left. Yeah.
All right.
I've got half left.
I've actually got 5 left. Winston recounts the story of how his selfishness when he was a child was what actually killed his baby sister. His family was starving and his mother received a chocolate bar. The bar was split between the 2 children, 3/4 to Winston and 1/4 to his baby sister. And he was upset about that, snatched the last piece and stuffed it in his mouth and ran off. And I think the mother had to go out and get more food or something like that. What actually happened? I can't even remember. But he stole the chocolate, and then I think the mother passed out, and the rats back them times were so big, and they were known to eat people, eat children, because rats are smart. They know if the mother's not there to defend the child, they ate them. They literally, there was hundreds of rats just on the baby and ate that baby, ate baby's flesh, bones, and everything.
Oh, of course.
And that actually caused a phobia for him, as it bloody should.
As it should.
But he shouldn't. I don't know if he should be so hard on himself for that. Depending on how old he was, you know. Children do irrational things.
Listen, children do irrational things.
And if you're hungry, you ain't been starving like he was.
No, nobody's been starving like he was. That's a very, very good point. But at the same time...
In fact, you would all do what
punishment,
he did.
Punishment isn't necessarily only just punishment. Sometimes punishments are lessons. It's a reminder. So
it should be.
It should exactly. Be so it's a reminder.
But it doesn't actually remind you of anything because you probably do the same thing in that situation. When you're starving, as we saw from the wage, you don't business.
Yeah, nah. Starvation is starvation. Starvation is starvation. But at the same time, do you think it's ever possible to let yourself starve to save somebody else? Do you think it's ever possible to do that in any situation ever? Because if it is, then he should be blamed.
I don't know if it is. I mean, you could. It depends.
It's tough without having felt that level of
starvation. Yeah, because obviously, you know, people. I don't know. I'm just gonna say no because the pains that you're gonna get, There's been people who've done heinous things. You know, to
forget the pain. Children. Once you reach delirium, it's not in your hands anymore.
Yeah.
Once you literally become delirious,
but it's still painful.
Not in your hands anymore.
Painful.
It's painful. If you last the pain, then I feel like fair play to you. Once you reach delirium, it is not in your hands anymore because you're not home.
You're not the same person.
You're just what I'm saying. Nobody's home anymore. Yeah. You're just gonna do whatever you're doing. Your meat is acting.
And
we
kind of think about. We'll kind of touch on this for the ending of the book, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Go on.
Every single problem that any man has ever had has ultimately come from him thinking with his willy instead of his brain. Winston Smith is having these illegal, rebellious thoughts, and he is petrified that one day the thought police are going to pull up on his doorstep and bag him. In fact, there is a dark-haired girl at the ministry who seems very suspicious of him, and Winston thinks she might be an agent on his trail. One day at work, she stages a dramatic tumble and slips him a note that says, "I love you." This total stranger, who he doesn't know her name, doesn't know a thing about her, apparently loves him, and he falls into her arms like, "Oh, I love you too," or whatever, totally forgetting his suspicions of her being a highly trained femme fatale. If she ended up being a lion, just trying to get close enough to break his neck one time for him, he would deserve it. What did Dave say? Don't get caught for puss. Don't die for Nyash. This guy tried to die for it, he tried. Death by horny is the worst, most embarrassing, most pathetic, most avoidable way to go out. It's genuinely ridiculous how quickly his defenses went down, how quickly his shields went down.
Yeah.
He just fell into her arms, literally, immediately.
I'd do the same. No better way to go out.
Even if she was an agent, if she was a killer, I'd still do it.
If I'm going out, I want to get that nut first.
Not dying horny.
Winston is selfish. It was his need for freedom, for self-righteousness, is the reason that he's going to kill him and his girl. Because this is the part where basically, I'm jumping, but it's basically like he got caught.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like, he tried to sign up for the Brotherhood, and the man said, "You're never going to see me again," or whatnot. And what? I don't know if that was that man in on it. I don't know, but they were listening.
Yeah.
Big Brother were listening.
They've been listening, and they've been telling
listening.
everybody they've been listening and watching and learning.
And he thought he was smarter than Big Brother. And he
Joker.
Remember, you're never smarter than your Big Brother.
Yeah.
Hey, tied that one up nicely, didn't I?
There we go.
So yeah.
Yeah, no. In all seriousness, like, whoa, he was never really careful enough. Nobody was, to be fair. And I've got a point about that. I said, is this girl Julia trying to get Winston killed? While the two are reveling in their shared rebelliousness against the party, Winston wonders whether a nearby bird could be a surveillance drone of some kind. In contempt, Julia tells him, stop worrying, live in the moment, try some real chocolate, which to me sounds like horrible advice. These guys can see into your thoughts. Your thoughts, they will hang you for thinking. If anything, they need to be more vigilant, not less vigilant. They need to be tightening up security, not relaxing security. And here we have Julia, who's risking her neck to buy chocolate from the black market. Of all things, this is how anybody gets caught at anything. They start being reckless. I wouldn't want to be hanging out with this girl at all. She's going to get me killed over chocolate. She's literally been buying chocolate.
It seemed like he was the more reckless one than she. She just wanted to live life and enjoy it. He wanted to be doing a freedom fighter.
Be a vigilante, yeah.
I have a dream. Shut up, bro. Shut up. Just chill.
Yeah, nah, relax, coach.
Bloody hell.
Coach. But to be fair, at this moment in the story, I literally said, like, you're buying chocolate from the black market. Like, for what? Like, if they trace that back to you, is that what you want to die for? Is that what you want to get you caught?
Listen, this chocolate's worth dying over. I don't know where I'm getting this stuff from, you know.
I have a dream. That one to do it.
In the prison cell, after he got caught, Winston meets a man that was being tortured, and he said he would kill his own wife and children instead of getting tortured, which is actually quite true to life, you know. So, you know, that ties into the next point, the actual pinnacle of the book, which is, I'm gonna just go again because you got 2 points left.
Yes, yeah.
I got to do one more, then I'll do.
This book has abruptly turned from a somewhat gripping thriller into a porno with Winston and Julia audibly shagging whenever they get the chance. It's suddenly become filled with lust-ridden filth. Dare I say, double plus filth. It seems that no matter which book we read, it's inevitable that there will be a sex/romance scene that I must summon the powers of Wakanda to get through. Maybe the lesson is that all roads lead to romance. Every book is the same book, just wrapped in different packaging. Love is the only thing that anybody cares about enough to read because love is the ultimate fiction. A medley of feelings that we tell each other gives us purpose. A word that becomes a noun or a verb interchangeably. People watch and read love stories for the same reason that they watch the lottery numbers on TV. It's nice to imagine if it were you. But it's not. But yeah, no, in all seriousness,
no one loves you.
Literally, nobody loves you. I genuinely think there's some truth to the fact that people watch the lottery numbers on TV. Yeah, that was me. I was going to pick 17 as well. You know? Like, I just feel like people just... Imagine if that was me. But at the same time, every single book we read with a sex scene or romance scene or a love scene, why are they all written like... Why am I just cringing in all of them? Am I just broken inside?
I don't know. You know, and I was thinking one day once we, you know, progress, let's just say that, I think we will have some form of writing exercises that we can set each other Then
That's a good idea.
I wouldn't say compete with, but to just
Yeah, you could never
explore.
compete with me.
Well, I shouldn't be able to compete.
You shouldn't be able to compete with me.
Yeah.
You really.
So, but I think one challenge would be to write a spicy sex scene that doesn't cringe you out, you know, or doesn't cringe us out, which, you know, is not as easy, or should I say, it is as hard as it sounds, because sex scenes most of the time cringe me out.
The funniest thing is, I've been a ghostwriter. I've been a freelance ghostwriter for clients. I've written sex scenes.
Yeah,
before,
I know.
and it's genuinely crazy. I've written sex scenes that have made me cringe to read my own writing. I've given it to them. They were like, "Oh, this is good."
Yeah,
you know, I've gotten paid for those. So it's like there really is no right and wrong. It's just what the consumer likes, and the consumer likes it. It's 1984. You know, it's the biggest. It's like a classic.
Yeah. This book is a powerful book on human nature. Is it possible to love anybody more than you love yourself?
That's a good question.
Torture is an amazing tool that can be used to expose oneself.
Yeah.
I had a sobering realization while listening to Winston beg the torturer to torture the woman he loved instead of torturing himself.
He said, "Rip her face off, rip her bones off, whatever."
My thought was, at what point do I beg the torturer to stop hurting me and to take Joseph instead? It's quite an embarrassing thought to have.
Oh, it's incredibly. I was embarrassed for him reading, listening to it, and I even looked in the original book as well to see if it's as bad.
Yeah,
it's
I just saw it. I just saw it on the bed. Take it.
It's as bad. Yeah, we should have brought it. You know, ironically, one time it was even there. I even got it off the shelf.
He took it off the shelf. But
yeah,
at what point?
Oh God, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It is very embarrassing because you're literally just thinking like. One thing I can say...
You can't even bad him up because we would do the same thing.
Do you see what I'm saying? The one thing you can say is just like, at the end of the day, like, chips are down, yada, yada, yada. Like, brother is brother. But at the end of the day, you have not yet experienced that kind of pain or the experience of terror.
No one survives torture.
You don't survive torture. Especially this guy, these men were saying, Room 101, it's the worst thing in the world for you is in there. So they know, they said, everyone cracks.
Oh yeah, they crack it. They go into your mind. They know what's
they know what's in there. So they literally said, like... So what's it there for you? Spiders?
No, but I think that would do me as
still
well.
Spiders?
No, I don't. Well, I don't like them.
Minor.
But listen, what he had, the rats on his face.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Even the things that will say, they said sometimes they go through your cheeks and burrow through your cheeks and take your tongue.
I don't know what's worse, here or here.
No, you remember the one from Game of Thrones?
They basically it was a big rat. You know, they put a big rat in a
bucket
in a metal can, and they strapped it to his belly. And they started heating up the metal pan.
Yeah, and a rat would panic because it can feel the thing heating up. And it will burrow through the only soft surface available.
And you saw the man going, screaming, "Oh,
literally,
it's inside,
my God.
It's inside."
Oh my God, it's awful. But to be fair, like, when we look at history, when we see the kind of torture methods or execution methods available, that for people in history, it is like, you heard about Vlad the Impaler? You know why they call him Vlad the Impaler? Oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. They would impale people through the anus, through the mouth, literally steak. And that is, oh my God, they just load them onto it. That is insane. It gets to a point where there's no easy option. There's no, nah man, Room 101 not for me. Very brutal.
Was the book worth reading? I don't know if it was. I think the most, as I said, the ending saved it because it's a powerful question on human nature.
And he had to condemn her with his own words. He had to say, "Take Julia, not me.
Yeah,
rip her face off or whatever."
And what they said in the book was they don't even kill you. They basically just reset your mind by doing that. Because now that you've both sold each other out, they send you out together. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. And you know what the funniest thing is? If you were scared before, how are you gonna be now? Yeah. Now you're toe that line now because you know, like, then just the thought of what could have been in Room 101 was enough to enslave you. Now,
gonna be the best soldier ever.
Literally best soldier ever. 100%. You're gonna vote every month.
So was it worth reading?
I think it's a classic and everyone.
It was a nice little short. Yeah. It's
a classic. Everyone should read classics. And you're good. You're right. It was very short. It was an easy read.
I've done that in a day.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
My plan was to do it in a day. I got interrupted. I did it in like a day and a half, but that's not a day.
And
day and a half.
That blundered you.
No?
And that blundered you.
Yeah, that literally did
Carried
pound
you over
me.
because obviously
Because the
we
other one
read
was
2 books
double damage. Yeah, the other one
we
was
read
double
2 books
damage.
every week. So Stephen King's come out on Tuesday, so we had to make sure. There were people that had it on a Monday, you know.
No.
They go to the shopkeepers and bribe them to get it.
Yeah, they're insane. We need to be on that though.
That's because someone reads audiobooks, you can't.
Man said double damage.
But yeah, this is us. Until next time, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Till next time.